City of Green Bay's Redevelopment Authority has unanimously approved a contract worth more than $100,000 to relocate the Heritage Trail Plaza.
As we first alerted you, a luxury apartment project set to break ground on the corner of North Washington and Cherry Streets led to an agreement between the city and the Green Bay Packers to remove the statues from their current location there. In a First Alert update, Drew Best attended the redevelopment meeting. He joins us live here in the studio with more details. Drew.
Cami and Bill, now that the contract has been approved to relocate the Heritage Trail Plaza, the next step now becomes figuring out where the Packers plan to relocate the plaza, which is still to be determined. Mayor Eric Genrich says it was always the city's intention to work cooperatively with the Green Bay Packers on the relocation of the Heritage Trail Plaza. Potential new locations in downtown Green Bay mentioned in the meeting include the Neville Public Museum, which is the first location on the city's Heritage Trail City Walk, and the Packers Plaza at the corner of Main and Adams Street by the KI Convention Center. Mayor Genrich says the city was willing to take on the cost of the relocation of the statues to make room for the luxury apartment development.
We knew that the cost was going to be something that we were going to bear. That's something we've been willing to take on from the beginning, understanding the importance of redeveloping our downtown, creating an additional 268 apartment homes here in downtown Green Bay. So we knew that that was one of the costs that we were going to have to bear. We're totally comfortable moving forward with that.
Jeff Merkus with Downtown Green Bay Incorporated says he is hoping to work closely with the Packers leadership and the city of Green Bay to help identify the best long-term option for the Heritage Trail Plaza. The city fully expects the removal of the plaza to begin within the coming weeks. Cami and Bill.